I let my bullies beat me up, and it was the best day of my life. When I was in junior high, I stopped hanging out with the bullies in my class, so their ringleader Bryce told them to gang up on me. They never cared about me having autism before, but now they made it their favorite thing to mention. Bryce Scallywag and his friends would make exaggerated flapping motions whenever I walked by. Then it escalated to stealing my noise-canceling headphones and hiding them in trash cans. By January, they were shoving me into lockers and filming my meltdowns to post on the school meme page run by students. The first time it happened, I tried going to the guidance counselor. When I walked in, Mrs. Saratoga barely looked up from her computer. "Can I talk to Principal Williams about Bryce and his friends?" I was then interrupted by her looking up at me with this condescending smile. "I know exactly what you people do, always thinking that normal teenage interactions count as bullying, always looking for attention." I swear I thought she was pranking me, but then she handed me a brochure for communication skills and went back to filing her nails. I smiled, because I had an ace up my sleeve. Principal Williams was my dad, but her dismissal made me realize something. If the guidance counselor wouldn't believe me without proof, maybe my dad wouldn't either. He was always so careful about showing favoritism at school. That's when I hatched my plan. I started crying more visibly when they pushed me. I ate lunch alone in predictable spots where they could corner me. I accidentally walked down empty hallways when I knew they'd be there. I documented everything in a password-protected folder on my phone. Screenshots of the meme page, blurry recordings when I could manage it. Bryce got bolder. He went from shoving to actual punches. His sister Kayla would hold my arms while he'd practice his boxing moves on my stomach. His best friend Connor liked to dump my backpack in the toilet. They thought I was too scared and weak to tell anyone. But after a few weeks, I finally had enough evidence to tell my dad. That night, I felt like a kid waiting for Christmas morning, because I knew my dad would destroy them. I woke up before my alarm and strolled downstairs with a confidence I'd never felt before. My dad was already there, making pancakes with smiley faces like he used to when I was little. I sat down with a huge smile. "Hey kiddo," he exclaimed. "I have something that I've been keeping from you," he said, flipping a pancake. "I'm in the process of retiring, and it should kick into place soon. They're making the announcement at school today." My fork stopped halfway to my mouth. He continued, practically bouncing with excitement. "With the retirement package, we can finally afford that Disney cruise you've always wanted. 7 whole days, just our family." I forced myself to smile and squeal about the cruise while my stomach dropped. Without Dad as principal, I had no nuclear option. My evidence meant nothing if he couldn't do anything about it. At school that day, I sat in the bathroom trying not to panic. Then I overheard Bryce and his friend talking by the sinks. "My mom's totally going to win the school board election. Her whole platform is about stopping bullying. She even got that news station to interview her." That's when it clicked. Mrs. Scallywag, Bryce's mom, was running for PTA president on an anti-bullying platform. The irony was so perfect I almost laughed. The election was in 3 days. I spent those days being extra pathetic, extra vulnerable. On election day, I waited by the gym after school, knowing they always went there to vape. When Bryce saw me alone, his eyes lit up. "Look who's asking for it," he said, cracking his knuckles. Connor and 2 other guys formed a circle around me. I didn't fight back. Not when Bryce's fist connected with my eye. Not when Connor kicked my ribs. Not when they took turns seeing who could leave the biggest bruise. Instead, curled up and took it with a chaotic excitement pumping through my veins. They left me there when they got bored. I waited 10 minutes before limping towards the auditorium. My face was swelling. My ribs screamed with each breath, but I had a huge smile on my face. The whispers started immediately. People pointed at my black eye. Someone gasped. I walked straight to the front where the current board members sat. "Mrs. Scallywag says she'll protect kids like me," I said loudly enough for everyone to hear. "But her children, Bryce and Kayla, did this to me yesterday. Your son beat the crap out of me, Mrs. Scallywag." The auditorium erupted. Full story on channel, link below.